Welcome back. Well, news just in. SAA's business rescue practitioners have announced the closing of several regional and international routes. We've got our reporter, Heidi Jokos, who's got those details. She joins us now from our Cape Town studios. Heidi, a big statement issued here by some of the SAA business rescue practitioners. Some domestic routes are said to be closing, and also just looking at rationalization programs that are going to be initiated. Unpack for us, please, that statement.
Most definitely, Faith. I think this is quite a lengthy and detailed statement that's come through from the business practitioners that have been appointed to try and rescue SAA, and it appears as though they are also in a very tight corner. And this is because they are obviously trying to preserve as much cash as possible, given the fact that the airline is struggling when it comes to liquidity. They have cancelled a number, or rather stopped a number of regional flights, domestic flights and some international flights. All domestic destinations, including Durban, East London and Port Elizabeth, will be stopped by the 29th of February. Domestic routes will now be operated by Mango, and they will, when it comes to Cape Town, it will be on a reduced basis. So when it comes to domestically, the national carrier will be flying in a very limited space. They've also, when it comes to the regional flights, they've also stopped some of those, and international flights. In fact, this basically speaks to the fact that these routes have not been profitable. They are trying to reserve cash. It's been a very difficult road for the airline, and it just does not make sense for SAA to do so. But when you think about the repercussions of stopping these kinds of flights, it speaks to the staff that are going to be heavily impacted by this. We do know that the airline indicated that they are going to go through a restructuring process, and we were going to see about 900 or so jobs being lost. But when the airline had to listen to the demands of the unions when they went through that strike late last year, they said they're going to postpone the restructuring, but it appears as though it might be worse than we anticipated, given the fact that they are cancelling all of these flights. They're saying it's to reserve cash, but one would ask the question, are they going to even be able to get these flights back in the air, given the fact that they've had to stop these flights completely?
We're talking about stopping of flights. On the other side of it, it's that issue which has been really the top of the agenda since the business rescue process started, was what happens to possible job losses, and are they going to incur possible job losses? And from what we understand from the statement is that, unfortunately, it's an unavoidable necessity that is going to actually come to pass.
Most definitely, and they even mention it in the statement and say they are going to have to reduce the number of staff. Unfortunately, that is going to be utmost necessary. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be worse off than we think. Unfortunately, these two business practitioners need to rescue the business. That's why it's called business rescue. And they are trying to avoid liquidation completely, given the fact that they're trying to save the airline. It's going to be a bigger mess if this airline has to liquidate, given all those government guarantees. The National Treasury has put a lot of money into this airline to try and save it. There's been bailouts after bailouts. You're seeing the Development Bank coming in and also trying to assist. And there are conditions that come with it. Eventually, people reach a point where they say there is only so much money we can pump into this airline, and certain conditions need to come with this. And we are seeing that job cuts are on the table. It's unavoidable. The business practitioners in their plan are going to put it on the table and say, this is the amount of staff we are going to need to cut. And unfortunately, it might be over 900 people, given the fact that they have had to stop all these routes. And it's not cancelling. There's a difference between cancelling and stopping. And they are saying by the 29th of Feb, we will see the complete stopping and seizing of these flights. So it's truly worrisome to see that our national carrier has reached this stage.
Heidi Jokos, we're going to leave it there for now. Joining us from our Cape Town studios regarding that statement from the business rescue practitioners regarding SAA, as well as the way forward.